All right, so I am comparing my favorite Zelda games. I made this into multiple categories, and I decided whichever gets more points must be my favorite game. First category, we got shrines. You have shrines in Breath of the Wild, and you also have shrines in Tears of the Kingdom, both of which are like very unique, very different. All right, here are some pros for the Breath of the Wild shrines. I thought they had more puzzles, more unique shrine quests. Like there's more shrine quests that interacted with the shrines and stuff in the game, so I thought that was pretty cool. Also, the DLC added more, which was really neat. And also, for the most part, the shrines only had one solution, so if you couldn't figure out that solution, you're not beating that shrine. I think it's kind of cool. Some cons though, test of strength was a little tedious because the weapons breaking and stuff. So like if you don't have great weapons, you're just not beating it. And some shrines also required a specific weapon, so if you didn't have that weapon, you literally just couldn't beat that shrine. But it's a kind of minor con, if I'm being honest. It's honestly, at this point, we're kind of nitpicking. Now we got Tears of the Kingdom shrines. There's a lot of stuff here. Pros, there's just more shrines in total. There's 152 shrines now. There's green crystals. So this is kind of a replacement for like the shrine quest in Breath of the Wild. Instead, you got like these green crystals. So you have to like take a green crystal to somewhere else, and then you get a shrine. And then you also have lots of ways to solve shrines. So it's not like you have only one solution. You have so many ways you can do it. It's kind of cool. Also, proving grounds are fun. It's kind of like Eventide Island, so it is really neat being able to kind of explore that in a way multiple times again. Okay, so we said lots of ways to solve, but one of the cons is that there's too many solutions. So like, it's nice that there's more solutions, but there's like too many now. Like, it's kind of a problem. Like a lot of shrines, you honestly could get like a rocket shield, enter the shrine, and you're done. I mean, honestly, like, I guess you could just not use rockets, but like they're in the game, so you can still use it. Also, green crystals. We said that was a con. I mean, pro. Although I am saying there is too many of them. There is too many green crystals. They are pretty cool, but I feel like they overstayed their welcome a bit. Like I wanted more than like green crystals for like pretty much the shrine quest of this game. It's just not as fun just doing the same thing practically over and over. Oh yeah, the quantity of blessing shrines, let me tell you about that. Like you had a lot less puzzles, like shrines that had puzzles to solve. Instead you had so many blessing shrines, so like pretty much freebies. You just get a treasure and you're done. I guess the route they're going for there was it's the journey to get to the shrine, but I do like me some puzzles in my Zelda games. I think I would like less blessing shrines if they do decide to bring these types of shrines and stuff in a future Zelda game. There was just too many of them. I liked how Breath of the Wild did it. Like the blessing shrines were very scarce, so when you found one, you're like, oh my god, this is cool. But now it's kind of like, oh my god, it's another blessing shrine. Whoop-de-doo. I was like, eh. Yeah, not really a unique shrine quest because it's like just green crystal, green crystal, green crystal. I mean, it didn't really change from that. And you have to fly for like a lot of them. So it's really hard to get to like a lot of the shrines. So unless you get like a hover bike or something like that, it is really tough. But yeah, overall, Breath of the Wild has gotten a point. That is the first point for Breath of the Wild. And yeah, we'll see what the next category is. Hey there, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to say if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe. A large portion of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you enjoy the content, you should subscribe since it's free and really helps out the channel. All right, we got runes. This is a pretty big one. We got bombs, magnesis, stasis, cryonis, camera, and amiibo for Breath of the Wild. And then in Tears of the Kingdom, you can't even see it. Ultra hand, fuse, ascend, recall, and then of course you have camera and amiibo, and there's also a map, although map rune, I mean, do you really need that? Let's start with the Breath of the Wild pros. Speed running. Oh my god, these runes are very nice for speed runs, especially the bomb rune. I mean, it allows you to do wind bombs. You can do BOSS, which is bow with smuggle slide. For those that don't know, bow with smuggle slide is the glitch that allows you to just fly across the map. As long as you're holding B, holding that direction, you can wiggle your joystick and you just go flying. As long as you don't let go of B or go in a neutral position, you will keep going It's broken. You can get a lot of speed. Very popular in the any percent speed run. You'll see people using that to get to the castle. That way they can glitch through a door that's normally, well, there's a gate that you normally can't go through, but because of the speed, it can't even load in the gate. So you just go right in. It's broken. Also, simplicity, very simple runes. It's very self-explanatory, like how to use all of them. Really not hard at all. Also, you can upgrade all of the abilities, which is pretty neat. Like the bombs, I'm pretty sure are a little bit stronger, and it's just faster recharge times for all of them, which is great. Also, they're great for puzzle solving. Like that was really fun. Like there's certain shrines where like you need to use a certain ability to finish that shrine. Like you need bombs, for example. Like you had to coordinate some there's like a one shrine where you had to like coordinate bombs to blow up switches and stuff. Like that was so cool. Very creative. I like that a lot. Although the cons is like there's that wait time to use the runes again. So yeah, also harder to use with a D-pad, because I don't know about you guys, but like when I'm using a D-pad, it's not always responsive. Like I'll be tapping left or right or whatever, and it thinks I'm tapping up. So like it's not the most reliable. That's my one problem with the D-pad on the with the runes. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Also really bad for combat. Even the bombs, like the bombs do very little damage. I mean, I guess it makes sense, or else you're only going to use bombs. But yeah, these are all really bad for combat, so you don't really want to use these for combat like at all. But yeah, let's go to the next one. All right, we got Tears of the Kingdom runes. Start with the pros. They're all very easy to use. Like these are very simple. Okay, also great puzzle solving. It's kind of similar to Breath of the Wild in that case, where like these are all pretty great for the puzzles. Like ascend is nice because you don't have to climb everywhere. You can ascend sometimes. Also, like recall is incredibly broken. I mean, let me tell you about that. Like there's like one shrine where I just completely broke it by using recall. Like it flung an orb, but like I was able to pause the game with recall and just recall the orb all the way back to me and just drop the orb in the spot it needs to be. So like recall is broken. Insane problem solving. It is ridiculous. Also, there's some good movement with it. There is some crazy glitches as well. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it is called ABCs. It is auto build cancel. Pretty much is kind of the OF smuggle slide replacement in Tears of the Kingdom. Only available in like early patches of the game. Latest patch, you won't be able to do this glitch. It's similar. You just go flying. You can kind of control where you go. You get a little bit of speed. The wings are like pushing you. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they're all good for combat as well. Yeah, because like fused, you can just fuse like some really strong materials onto your weapons, and then boom, you have a really strong weapon there. So you can just fuse like a Lionel horn, and now you have an amazing weapon. Like you don't have to grind out a weapon necessarily. Also, there is no wait time. That is pretty cool. So like if you finish using recall, for example, you don't have to wait to use recall again. It's not like Breath of the Wild with stasis, where like if you just finish using stasis, you have to wait a little bit. No, you can just use these right away. So there's no wait time at all. It's pretty awesome. Some cons, however, you cannot upgrade. I guess auto build is technically like an ultra hand upgrade, but like the other ones obviously can't really be upgraded. I don't think they need to be upgraded, but like that is one thing, I guess. Speedrunning, it's still okay in Tears of the Kingdom, but like speedrunning in Breath of the Wild with these runes is just, it's so much better. Like the runes in Breath of the Wild were so much better for speedruns, and it's simply just because of bombs. Honestly, if Tears of the Kingdom had remote bombs still, it's winning easily probably. And sometimes they can be kind of hard to use. See, like ultra hand, like sometimes it's a little finicky, and like sometimes the aiming of like recall is a little weird. I don't know if you guys notice that, but I notice that sometimes. It's very complex code though, I imagine. So yeah, that is the runes. So I am giving this point to Tears of the Kingdom because I think they overall did runes better. Even though we lost our precious remote bombs, I think Tears of the Kingdom overall did it better. It's kind of well balanced. That's what I'll say. I think it's a good balance of like everything. So now we got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom tied up. Let's go ahead to our next category. We kind of talked about this, but it is glitches. because there's many glitches in both of these games. Let's go with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, you have wind bombs, my favorite glitch by far. You have a bomb hit you in the back, and then you just go flying. It is great. And then you get a lot of speed. You can just pretty much paraglide after that. It is amazing. Like, I love it just for casual play at this point. I don't really speed run, but like, I love using it. It is so fun. Also, yeah, we talked about BOSS as well. That is the bow-lift smuggle slide. It is, yeah, it's really broken. You can go right to like where you need to be, like point A to point B, because you go really fast, and you can kind of control it. It's a little hard to control. Also, we have fall damage cancels. You can completely cancel your fall damage in Breath of the Wild. No paraglider. So that's pretty crazy. How it works though is like this is how I do it. You have like a weapon and you have a shield, and you're like in the animation of throwing your weapon, and then right before you're like about to land on the ground, you unequip your shield. And if you timed it right, you will just take no damage. It is ridiculous. Next one is bullet time bounce. This one is not really used as much, but it used to be very popular in any percent speedruns. I think you had a frozen enemy, and then you shield. Actually, I don't think it needs to be frozen, but I think it helps. Go in the shield jumping animation, you pull out your bow, so like you're in bullet time, and you bounce off an enemy's head. Yes, you bounce off an enemy's head, and you just go flying. Get a lot of speed, so you can go really far. I find it's kind of hard to control and pull off, but that was a pretty popular speedrun for a while. I mean, popular speedrun trick, and yeah, you just go flying if you pull it off correctly. It's insane. Also had item smuggling. For example, the torch for Hateno village, you needed to grab the blue flame and light up the furnace at the Hateno Tech Lab. That is very well known. That is one of the first main quests in the game. There's something you can do. You can smuggle the torch, so that way it's like you're technically holding it, but like you can move around normally. So like you can run around and stuff. You don't have to go in like this jogging speed. You can just run, and you can also do these other glitches like wind bombs. So you could wind bomb back up to Hateno Tech Lab with that blue flame. So it's pretty crazy. You can item smuggle the torch. Yeah, you wind bomb back up to the lab, and it's really fast that way. This is one of my favorites. It is whistle sprinting. Very awesome, kind of minor glitch, but pretty much you don't have to worry about stamina like ever, because you just freaking hold down on the D-pad. You're just doing the whistle button, and you're just spamming B. I mean, that is it. You just control where you go, and you just go crazy. I mean, that's literally it. As long as it's not like a straight 90-degree angle, you can go up that mountain and stuff. So I love whistle sprinting. Also, when you're running out of stamina, it still works. You're just regaining stamina. So you just don't lose stamina with this glitch. It is pretty awesome. And this one is also really broken. You have skew. This is popular in Breath of the Wild speedruns. So pretty much skew is a very interesting glitch. So like you shield jump in a certain angle, and then Link kind of goes from this to like kind of this when he's like shield jumping. So when you try to jump in a certain spot in like a shrine or something, you're trying to go there, and then the game is trying to force Link back up to here. So like it forces him into that area. So like, for example, for any percent speedruns, you're trying to pretty much do the whole thing without activating the tower, because the tower is a long-ish cutscene, so you don't want to watch that. Easy way to get around that is to just go right in the shrine. So without the Sheikah Sway, pretty much. It's insane. You just quip right through the shrine, and that's all possible thanks to skew. It's insane. I've done it a few times. It is fun. Breath of the Wild also has the campfire Master Sword glitch. You guys have maybe seen me pull this off in multiple of my Zelda challenges, but pretty much you place wood or just make a campfire by the Master Sword in Korok Forest, and you look up in the sky, you see these nice cherry blossoms and stuff. You just rest, and then you spam A like crazy, and if you did it correctly, you will get the Master Sword. It's very weird. I don't know how it works, but it just works. You get the Master Sword like that. Yeah, it's really weird. But it is probably one of the most popular glitches in Breath of the Wild, and it's really not hard one to pull off. But that was the Breath of the Wild glitches that I can kind of think of, the significant ones. I'm sure I missed some. Now let's go with Tears of the Kingdom. We have item duplication. Oh my god, this one was incredibly broken. Especially in like early patches of the game. You could literally just like jump, pause, press like A and B at the same time, and then you just dupe your item. It's insane. Like, dude, like, it is the most easy duplication glitch I have seen. Like, holy crap. That is so good. So like early patches of the game, I really exploited it quite a bit. I like did a lot of diamonds. I did a lot of like ancient shards or whatever to call it. So yeah, I went crazy. It is a broken glitch. You can do it with like any item too. You could do it with fairies and stuff if you want. I didn't want to do fairies though. Like, that's kind of boring if I'm just unkillable. This one's also really broken. You got Zuggling. Pretty much what this glitch is like you're stacking weapons. So like they're just stacking a bunch of weapons onto each other. So like you could do like, let's see, a royal guard spear or something. You're just stacking that spear on top of each other. It is kind of crazy. Now, not the same as the Breath of the Wild one, but there's still fall damage cancels. You have to do all kinds of weird commands though. I think you need recall and you need auto build. You have to do some weird shenanigans with those like rune combos, and then if you pull it off right, you get that fall damage cancel. It's really complicated. I don't think I could ever do that. That is ridiculous. And we did talk about this a little bit before, but we got auto build cancels, the ABC glitch. It is insane, kind of like the BLSS replacement. That's really the best way to put it, honestly. But I would still say BLSS is probably the better glitch, but auto build cancels are still pretty dang good. If you ever watch like Small Ant or Winkus do like these bingos, you'll see them do this glitch a lot. It is a popular one. We got rocket surfing, so this is like rocket boarding also. It's very weird, but pretty much you're like fusing a spear, but you're also not fusing it to the spear, and then you're like actually kind of putting it on the shield. It's really weird, but like you do a certain combo and then you're pretty much shield jumping with the rocket. You just get like infinite height pretty much. So yeah, that is rocket boarding. Pretty popular with the high wind shield because like it does take durability, so like you do kind of want to have a strong shield. So the high wind shield is pretty popular, so people will like duplicate their high wind shields and then do this glitch. Overall, I'm giving this point to Breath of the Wild because I think Breath of the Wild did a better job with the glitches. I mean, it's an older game as well, so like I'm not really surprised. I just think the glitches overall are all better for speedruns. Tears of the Kingdom, it's still decent. I think people are beating it in like 50 minutes now. But like in Breath of the Wild, you can beat it in like 23 minutes or under 23 minutes now. I don't know how fast Player 5 is these days, but he just keeps getting that speedrun down lower somehow. So yeah, Breath of the Wild is really fast of a speedrun. Oh, so that was very rude. So yeah, very fast speedrun in Breath of the Wild. So obviously I'm gonna give this point to Breath of the Wild because the whole point is glitches, which are popular in speedruns. The speedrun for Breath of the Wild is a lot faster than Tears of the Kingdom, but I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is slowly getting faster. Let's see, don't forget the bug where you can do the charge attacks of other weapon types. Oh yeah, that one's really weird. Yeah, I've seen that, but it's like very minor. All right, next up we have bosses. All right, Breath of the Wild. Let's start with Breath of the Wild. All right, we have Water Boy Ganon, Wind Boy Ganon, Fire Boy Ganon, and Thunder Boy Ganon. Now you might have seen this. I'm like not super unique. It's just Blight, 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 and they're all versions of Ganon. While they're kind of cool bosses, I'd say Thunder Boy is definitely the best one there. It is just a bunch of Blight Ganons. It does slightly get old. Nothing too crazy. You still have Calamity Ganon, so you have another Ganon here. You have so many. Oh, this one is DLC only, but you have Monk Maz Koshia, which is such a good boss. Amazing boss. Probably the best boss in this game. No, not probably. It is the best boss in Breath of the Wild. It is so good. That is a great boss. Also, we have Master Koga. He's a classic. We all love Master Koga. Very, very funny dude. I love him. In charge of the Yiga clan. So yeah, that was pretty much Breath of the Wild. There's not much else to go over with the bosses. Now we got Tears of the Kingdom. We have Colgera. Amazing, amazing boss. I love this boss. Probably my favorite boss in Tears of the Kingdom. Just because like the whole atmosphere and like the music that plays is like a callback to Wind Waker. I love that so much. So yeah, that is so good. Such a fun boss. It is not hard, but it is a very, very fun fight. And I think that's really what matters at the end of the day. But it's just really, really fun. Also, we have Muktarok. Yep. I'm kind of not a big fan of this boss. It's kind of weird. It's very interesting to say. It's pretty much like a boss version of a, what are those enemies, Brent? I can't even remember it. I'm blanking. Those enemies that like shoot stuff at you. That's what these are. It's pretty much a boss version. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Also, the return of Goma's Octorok. There it is. There it is. Octorok. Yeah, it's pretty much a boss version of the Octorok. I am not a fan. Although the shark was pretty cool. I wish the boss was literally just the shark, and I might like it more. Goma's came back, so we have a new version of the Goma. That was really cool to see. Very interesting fight. Also, the return of Gibdos. That was really cool. I remember thinking they were Redeads. They're not Redeads. We got a Queen Gibdo, though. So that's pretty neat. That was never a thing before, I'm pretty sure. You literally just had normal Gibdos. So the fact we have a Queen Gibdo, kind of cool. Also, a really tough boss, actually. It's pretty much like the Thunderbolt Ganon of this game. It is a tricky one. We got a Seas Construct. This one's kind of cool. So, like, Minoru is a construct boss. Not boss. Is a construct in Tears of the Kingdom, and you confuse all kinds of stuff to like her arms and stuff, and you had an evil version of the Seas Construct, so it was like pretty cool that you're fighting pretty much another Minoru.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did.
I hate you, chat. I actually hate you. Oh my god. So yeah, you're pretty much fighting another Minoru. That's what the Seas Construct is. I think that's really cool. Probably one of my favorite bosses in Tears of the Kingdom. Very, very cool. We have Phantom Ganon. I'm not talking about like the Great Deku Tree one, but like the castle one. That one is pretty interesting. You're fighting a bunch of Phantom Ganons. If you don't know how to deal with them, well, good luck, I guess. You have Demon King Ganondorf. That was really cool the first time. Like, I was like, what? He can Flurry Rush me back? Like, what? That's illegal. So that was pretty cool learning that. I was like, wait, what? And then the whole moments where like I realized that health bar just keeps going. I was like, holy crap, dude, that is so neat. So yeah, that was a really awesome boss fight. Very much an upgrade over Calamity Ganon in my opinion. So I was really happy with that. And then of course we got Demon Dragon. God, such a peak fight in my opinion. Like the music that plays, the whole atmosphere, like everything. It's kind of like Colgera in a way, but like it's the final boss. Like it's so good. Not a hard fight, but holy crap, so good. And then of course we got Master Koga. I think this was definitely an upgrade over the Breath of the Wild fight. Like you fought him like 3 times, and they're all really fun. They're still not hard, but like you actually have to do a bit more to actually beat them, which is fun. So yeah, more unique, fun fights. I really like the bosses in Tears of the Kingdom. So overall, we're giving another point to Tears of the Kingdom. So they are currently tied up at 2-2. So getting pretty close here. So yeah, we'll see what the next category is. What? Okay, here we go. We got characters. There is a lot of them in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Breath of the Wild, it had Cass. Cass is my goat. I love Cass. My little bird that plays the accordion. I love that guy. Of course, we got Monk Mouse Koshia and all the other monks. You got Calamity Ganon. Tears of the Kingdom, you have Ganondorf, Rauru, Sonia, Minoru, Taro, Yona, Colton. There's a lot of characters. I really like the Tears of the Kingdom characters. Ganondorf coming back was amazing. Rauru and Sonia were awesome characters. Same with Minoru. And then even though like these are all like side characters, they're still pretty cool. Oh, you're blowing me up. That's not really nice, man. Okay. That being said, I am giving the point to Breath of the Wild simply because it has Cass. Maybe if Tears of the Kingdom had Cass, I would have given the point to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just saying. One game has Cass, one doesn't. I'm just saying. Cass is my goat. I said it. Next category is music. I really like the music in both of these games. I think they're incredible. I love Zelda music especially. So like this These OSTs are so good. Yeah, we have the classic like Switch presentation. Oh my god. So good. And then we have the final boss song. I'll just let the beginning part play out because it's so good. Like, I love those notes. Okay, I'm just gonna skip. Like, oh, it's so good. Love it. Incredible music. And then we have Cass. I just love it so much, dude. Yeah, I love that song though. Go, who's there? Also, Monkma's Koshia. This one's really good. Sounds so like a French song. He is insanely French for sure. Definitely a French bird. One thing I will say though is like Point Crow brought up a good point. Is like this song, like while very good at the start, the beat doesn't really drop. Just wait for it. It just does this. So like it's pretty cool, but like the beat doesn't really drop. So that is unfortunate. All right, we got Tears of Kingdom music now. Final trailer music for Tears of Kingdom. It's so good. So good. But we know why this part's so good. Just wait. And I'm gonna blast it. Hell yeah, dude. It's so good, man. Like, I love that final trailer song. And we talked about this a little bit, but like the final boss song, so good. Like, I love this part. Love it. And I like the final part. Oh yeah, this part. This part's really good. Whew. What a sick way to end the game. We have the final catch. So good. I just let it play out for a bit. God, it's amazing. God, I freaking love this one. So good, man. And then I say the best for last. We got Colgera. This song is absolutely perfect. Absolutely insane. Like, I love this soundtrack. It goes so freaking hard. Like, when I heard this playing the game, My God, did it make the fight so much better? Like, holy. That was so awesome. Freaking love that. Kogero is such a fun boss. Really easy though, sadly. See, that's the thing. I didn't even care because it's so much fun. Because I am enjoying the music so much, and the bosses actually just like fun to fight. With through like the windstorm and like wind blowing around, like cinema, absolute cinema. Love that fight. So freaking good. Overall, I am giving this point to Tears of the Kingdom because, I mean, are we really surprised? I mean, the music there was just incredible, mind-blowing, really, really good. But like Breath of the Wild also had very good music. I don't want to take anything away from Breath of the Wild. French Bird didn't carry this time, I guess. The cast is great, but I think Tears of the Kingdom overall had better music. Also, we're going over story now. This is a big one. All right, I just split this in two. Breath of the Wild. We got the Great Plateau. I thought the Great Plateau was a great way to introduce the game. Made it very easy to know what you have to do. I thought they did a great job of that. We have Divine Beast. Is kind of the same concept multiple times besides like changing the puzzles and stuff. Also, we got Memories. This is also in both games. This one, you're going through Link's memories. I just showed. In Tears of the Kingdom, you're going through Zelda's memories, which is very interesting. So the opposite. Hyrule Castle is pretty neat in Breath of the Wild. Really like how it is there. Like, it's just a nice castle, man. Before it gets broken in Tears of the Kingdom, unfortunately. We got the Great Deku Tree. Very awesome in Breath of the Wild. I loved the whole quest there, getting there and stuff. Really cool. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, we have the Great Sky Island. Very cool. It is a similar concept to Great Plateau in that way. I probably prefer Great Plateau a bit more as a tutorial. It just felt like Great Sky Island was just dragging on a little bit. But like Great Plateau was a great one to start with. But yeah, Great Sky Island is kind of a long one unless you're literally just beelining, I guess. But if you like to explore like me, it can definitely take a long freaking time. I think I spent like 5 hours there before I left. Tears of the Kingdom had temples, so temples were pretty cool. The fact they came back from like past Zelda games. Breath of the Wild just had Divine Beast, so it's pretty much the same. But it is nice to have temples back because I think temples overall are a better format. So I'm glad they brought back temples. It is still a similar concept where it's like you get a map and then you're activating terminals. I kind of wish they went away from the terminal stuff because we already did that in Breath of the Wild, but it was still pretty cool having the temples come back. And they did make some of the solutions really creative, so I'll give them that. I'm sure they'll upgrade them even more so in the next Zelda game, so I'm not too stressed on this one. And yeah, we talked about it a little bit. We got Zelda memories. This is pretty cool, but like it was just Zelda's memories, so it didn't feel as special because we're not playing as Zelda. Maybe if we got to play as Zelda in some capacity, this could have been really, really cool, but we didn't get to play as Zelda at all. We're only playing as Link. This one missed the mark a little bit. Also, if you never visit the Forgotten Temple, you can literally get all of the memories out of order, and that is really unfortunate because there is some crazy ones like Sonia dying, for example. If you just get that one first somehow, I'm sorry, that really sucks. That would be horrible. Starting out of order like that really sucks. Kind of wish how they did it was like they forced you to, they kind of made it more linear. Like they would force you to get them in order. So like if you got to one early, for example, it'd be like, you can't interact with this yet. Come back later. Or something like that. Something along those lines where like you can't activate it. So yeah, I kind of wish that's the route they went with. I think that would have been really cool. So yeah, I don't like that you can get the memories out of order if you don't know what the order is, and even then the order is kind of confusing sometimes for maybe the casual player. So yeah, that's a little unfortunate that you can get them out of order. I just hope if they do memories again in a future Zelda game, they do that. My idea. Also, we have the castle depths. This was pretty cool. The fact you go under the castle, that's really neat. So I like that a lot. That was really cool. The whole concept of going under the castle to fight Ganon. Oh my god, it's so sick. I really like that. Also, Tears of the Kingdom has the light dragon, which is really cool. Although I now knowing the lore behind it, I kind of wish the light dragon was visible in Breath of the Wild in some capacity. But I guess the lore could be it's simply just way too high that we just can't see it. That's gonna be my logic behind it because of the sky barrier and stuff. But yeah, it's really cool dragon, very pretty dragon. I really like this, and seeing it on the intro for the first time was really cool. Like I spotted it right away. I was like, yo, that's so cool. But yeah, great Deku Tree again. I like how they did it in Tears of the Kingdom where like he's kind of in danger and you're like saving him. And I think that's pretty awesome. I really like that. That quest was pretty fun. Also the whole thing with like seeing the place like messed up, like everyone is super gloomy and depressed and really interesting. I like what they did with it. So I'm giving this point to Tears of the Kingdom because I think overall better story. One thing I will say, I did kind of hate the repetitive cutscenes. I did really hate that because you would visit all of the places and at the end of the temple you would get a cutscene. At every cutscene you have the characters like, what? Demon King, Seeker's Stone, what is that? And it does the whole same like similar cutscene again. It's like, okay, like we couldn't change the lines a little bit. We need to be a little bit more creative with that, but that was like nitpicking at this point. But I think that could have been done a little bit better, and that's come from someone that did really enjoy the game. So but yeah, overall I think Tears of the Kingdom has the better story, so I'm giving the point to Tears of the Kingdom. That might be a hot take, I don't know. Yeah, I think they did a great job. So we got quests. There's a lot of them in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So you can tell I start getting lazy with this, but it works. All right, Breath of the Wild, I felt had more fun quests. There's more personality, maybe not the right word, but like it just felt more alive, I guess. Like it is a pretty cool quest in Breath of the Wild, and they felt rewarding. Like you did those quests and it's like, wow, I just got this really cool reward. I really like that. And you had good incentives to finish quests. Like you finish all the quests and it's like, oh my god, you get this. Like, that was really neat. And they're not overwhelming. So like it's not like you do a quest, you're like, oh my god, this is so tedious, man, I don't want to do this. And then there's not too many of them, so like you're not getting overwhelmed or anything. So like it's like the perfect amount in my opinion. However, with Tears of the Kingdom, we got some things to say. It got a little too grindy. You needed like very specific items and they were not at all easy to find. So like I did not enjoy these quests as much. They were less fun and you had to travel a lot more. Like you had to travel a ridiculous amount to do these quests, and they did not feel very rewarding. Like you would get a very weak reward for finishing the quest, which kind of sucked with how grindy it felt. Here's the thing with like Breath of the Wild, incentive to finish, you had Terry Town. You're literally helping make a town, so like it is pretty awesome. That is a awesome, amazing incentive to finish that quest. Like you're helping make a town. I mean, are you kidding me? That's so cool. I don't think you have something quite like that in Tears of the Kingdom, unfortunately. So like it might have been cool if they added like a quest to really make Hyrule Castle Town like alive again. It wasn't a quest for some reason. I think they definitely could have done something like that. That would have been really cool to see, especially since this is in the future. You would think they would want the place to be a lot better and stuff. I don't know. It seems like they kind of just went the lazy route with the quest, I guess. But yeah, it got overwhelming. Like the weapons and like items you need. Like it's so grindy. It's super hard to get these items. Like sometimes you need like a monster part, but you can't find that monster like anywhere. I swear. Like sometimes I'm trying to play casually to like upgrade armor and stuff. Like I can't find these enemies like anywhere. Like I'm searching where it says most common, I don't see them. It's a little unfortunate. But yeah, there's kind of way too many quests. Like there's so many. Like they just keep going and going and going. I feel like the quests in Tears of the Kingdom kind of cause burnout, and you don't want that. If you want people to keep playing. So I think overall we're giving this point to Breath of the Wild, because I think the quests in Breath of the Wild were pretty great. So I think they did a good balance, good incentives, good rewards, good amounts. That's what you kind of want in a game like this. So yeah, I think I give this point to Breath of the Wild, but they are currently tied at 4-4. So this is getting really close here. But I think we're getting near the end here. All right, next one is replay. So the replayability. First off, we got Breath of the Wild. I felt it is very easy to play this game again. It doesn't matter if you've played it like 1 time, 10 times, 100 times. It's very easy to play again. It doesn't take too long. So like you play again, the better you get at it, you can beat it in like an hour, or well, when you're doing like the crazy stuff I do, it's like 2-3 hours. But like it's still pretty good. Like for a full open world game like that, like that's pretty good. Yeah, and the glitches make it a lot easier. Also, it's latest patch Breath of the Wild. You can do all the glitches on the latest patch Breath of the Wild. You don't have to be on early patch or anything. Easy bosses for replayability. So like all the bosses are, even though they're not super creative, they're not too bad, and it's pretty nice for when you're replaying that the bosses are not crazy difficult. It's challenging enough to the point where it's not boring, but like you can still have some fun. Also, this had master mode. I love master mode. Brought harder enemies, so you had gold variants of enemies. I do actually really miss them. That was really fun for Breath of the Wild. So you had like gold Lionels, gold Bokoblins, Bazalfos, Boblins. So that was really cool. I do really miss master mode. That is not in Tears of the Kingdom, unfortunately. Also, DLC, it added new fun things, so that was great. So you had like the new Trial of the Sword. That was a very tricky quest, but I did really enjoy it. It helps you like fully power up the Master Sword, so it's kind of like if you're going against Calamity Ganon, that power of the Master Sword, you can keep that power of the Master Sword everywhere if you do the Trial of the Sword. That was really cool. The fact they did that was really awesome. And then you had the whole Champions Ballad. That was really neat, how you had like 4 new shrines and like a few quests to do. You got like a new dungeons. Super good, amazing DLC. Highly recommend it. So fun. Tears of the Kingdom, I feel, is a lot harder to play again. You play it once, you have an absolute blast. It is so fun, but in my opinion, I think it is really hard to play again. Part of that is because it takes a long time to finish it. Whenever I did challenge runs for Tears of the Kingdom, it would take 5 or more streams. And these are not short streams either. These are like 3 hours or longer. So these are not short streams like at all. So like it takes a long time to beat this game if you can't use glitches or anything. And I am unfortunately on the latest patch because one day my game updated, so I didn't have the early patch. So unfortunately I can't do duping and stuff like that. It takes a really long time for me to finish the game. It's not really fun to play again, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, there's no easy way to make it faster. Like to get like really strong stuff, you need to beat like a Lino, but in order to beat a Lino, you still need a really strong weapon somehow. And like with Tears of the Kingdom, you have the worn out weapons now, so like it's really hard to get a good weapon, unlike Breath of the Wild where you just pick it up and it's good to go. And so yeah, it's very tricky in Tears of the Kingdom. It's just a harder game, and when I don't have any glitches really to make it easier, it is going to take a really long time to beat. And yeah, you got hard bosses, kind of same thing. You don't have great weapons without spending a lot of time. And then yeah, there's no master mode or DLC. There's no master mode to make the game even harder if you wanted to do that, which honestly I kind of would like to do that casually, but unfortunately they never added the master mode, and that's a little sad. I was actually really looking forward to that. Kind of same with the DLC. I was really looking forward to DLC. I would have liked to learn more about like the dragons and like some other stuff. There's like some missing plot holes that were like never really explained. You have the collector's book to really learn about a lot of stuff. I don't really like that you have to do that to learn the rest of your information. In fact, there's no master mode or DLC is a little disappointing. Like with DLC, I would have liked to at least see like the Trial of the Sword stuff from like Breath of the Wild, and then we would have had fully powered up Master Sword like at all times. Like that would have been so cool. And with that, the winner of this presentation is, I need like a drum roll, man. Okay, here we go. Is Breath of the Wild. I thought Breath of the Wild was overall the better game. I think this game is perfect. It won Game of the Year in 2017. Like nothing could really beat it in my honest opinion. All the little things is important. Being able to replay again and like certain glitches and stuff, it just makes the game so much more fun in my opinion. It's like, and like certain characters, like it brings so much more personality to the game. I think that's great. I assume don't like the opinion. But that is the great part about the internet. You can have your opinion, but this is my opinion. I think Breath of the Wild is my favorite game. But I will say Tears of the Kingdom is probably objectively the better game. It did a lot of things better. I think my heart will pick Breath of the Wild every time. God. I just think Breath of the Wild just did a lot of things right. I love that game. You can probably tell by my channel, like I've been doing a lot of Breath of the Wild again. I just think it's more fun to replay. I mean, just watch like my first playthrough. I did still really enjoy the game. I think it's one of the best games ever made. It's super good, but my heart picks Breath of the Wild. And I know I'm not alone on that. Actually, a lot of people share my opinion. I just think Breath of the Wild overall did a better job with certain things. And those certain things really what pull me into Breath of the Wild. I remember the first time I played Breath of the Wild, I would stay up till like 5 a.m. playing this game. I mean, I was obsessed, man. I could not put this game down. I could not put it down. It was just magical. It is a magical experience. I will never experience that again, and that's amazing. It's kind of sad in a way, but it is amazing. My favorite Zelda games of all time. I think Breath of the Wild takes the edge a little bit. Now that's just my opinion, but I decided to ask some friends to see what they thought about the games.
Hey, I'm Will, or Ryman3 as my social media would suggest. Let's talk Zelda for a minute. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were both groundbreaking games for many reasons. Great story, fun and immersive gameplay, fantastic characters, but I'm only here to talk about one thing in particular: movement. In Breath of the Wild, when you're told to go from the Temple of Time to Kakariko Village, it's a pretty daunting task. I mean, just look how far that is. But if you're anything like me, you found ways around it. Maybe you took the straightest line there, or maybe you followed the paths. Everyone did something a little bit different their first time playing. I personally followed the path until I hit Dueling Peaks Stable before I got a little distracted. But the thing is, I knew there was a better way, a faster way: wind bombs. Okay, here's the 101. It's not a tutorial. You jump off the ledge, drop 2 bombs, detonate the first one to launch the second one into you in bullet time, and you go flying. It's a great way to go from point A to point B if for whatever reason fast travel just isn't going to work for you. Another great way to move around the map quickly is a bless, or BLSS. This one is arguably faster and easier for most people to learn. You pull out your bow and press A at the same time to pick up the bomb in front of you. Once you've picked it up, you're going to want to jump in the air and press B and then plus, almost immediately after. And when you land, you'll still be holding the bomb in the bow. You're then going to want to aim your bow and press B to cancel that, and then you'll find you can run around with the bow in hand and your hand in bomb. Then you run off a ledge and you'll find that you just start gliding. If you want to go faster, you actually just shake the left joystick in the opposite direction you're trying to move, and it just builds momentum. Now, in Tears of the Kingdom, things are a little bit different. We don't have any of the same runes from Breath of the Wild, except for the camera and the amiibo runes. So how do we get around? Well, in Tears of the Kingdom, they figured out that players actually wanted faster ways to get around the map when fast travel just wasn't an option for them. And let's face it, both of those things I just said from Breath of the Wild are glitches that exploit some small things in the physics engine. In Tears of the Kingdom's engine, there were a few minor adjustments made to stop players from doing things like wind bombs and blesses, but they made moving around the map way more convenient and way more accessible for everyone. Like, you can literally make a car, but we all know the one thing that everybody ends up using. Good old-fashioned 2 fans attached to a control rod, baby, let's go. It's an actual implemented and balanced way to get the player around different parts of the map really easily. And I appreciate that they did that. So, in conclusion, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, yes, were both groundbreaking, but one is clearly better. And from a technical standpoint, Tears of the Kingdom is objectively better. But as a matter of opinion on video games, well, that's up to you to decide. I've been Ratman3, and I'll see y'all next time. Oh, and before I go, make sure to follow the stream.
Hi everybody, it's a Green Queen here, aka Allie, aka Greenie. So I've played both games, obviously Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but under completely different context. And I think that that's important when I talk about the differences between them and sort of like my take in playing them. So for Breath of the Wild, I played that in 2019, and you know, if you know, you know. I was an actor at the time. I was also a coach. I had lost all my jobs. All my industries were sort of on pause and with no sign of coming back to life. So I played that game. And I had never played an open world game before. I had never played a game like that before. Even Zelda, I was not that familiar with the Zelda franchise, really outside of the core story. So, like, the Karoks were a new thing for me. There was so much new things for me that when I was playing that game, it was like a burst of life, if that makes any sense. It was like my day job. I just played it every day. I explored every nook and cranny and so forth. When I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played that almost exclusively on stream, which is a completely different experience. You know, you're there with the chat and they're kind of giving you hints, not giving you hints, joking with you. And I'm so gullible that, you know, they kind of were egging me on at times. But to break down sort of the story of them, which I think is really, really important. I think that's what makes games so special, is you get to kind of live through a story. The Breath of the Wild story captivated me like no other. And I think that's because I had never been exposed to anything like that, right? Going to each region and sort of like solving the problems there, I've come to find out is a common thing in games, right? But for me, that was something completely different. I was so blown away. I even started writing a fanfic about Breath of the Wild. It just was so special. And then in Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like they took the story and made something so unique out of it. Like this idea of playing with time and sort of communicating with the past and the present and all of that in between. I feel like the story in Tears of the Kingdom really, they took what they had and they made something really unique and really, really special with it. So I have to say, if I had to pick a favorite, I prefer the story and how we played it in Tears of the Kingdom over Breath of the Wild. But if we're talking about the gameplay and the mechanics, I'm sure I'm probably in the minority on this, but I actually liked the mechanics of Breath of the Wild better. I felt like they were a little bit more organic to the way that I was thinking about things. They were a little bit easier to pick up, especially, you know, coming from someone that's never played a game like this and then starting to play this, and the shrines, the puzzles, like it all felt hard and challenging, where I did have to look up walkthroughs, but it felt also more organic, where in Tears of the Kingdom, you know, they add a lot of new things which are really cool, and once I kind of understood how to use them, it was fun. But I still even found trouble just from a user perspective of putting things together and getting them exactly the way you need them to work in order to do like the thing you saw online. So I think that aspect of it, the game and the mechanics, are a little bit more challenging in Tears of the Kingdom, which might be somebody's thing, but for me, as a person that is a little bit more story driven and likes games for the story and gets invested in games for the story, I have to, you know, give it to Breath of the Wild, where I was just able to really enjoy the world and enjoy the story a little bit more and get less frustrated, I'd say. So that's my take on both games. I think they're both wonderful. I can't wait to see what they do with this franchise in the future. Hopefully we get more games like these. But yeah, thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm AudioKami Hybrid VTuber, and I'm going to tell you about my thoughts on Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. First off, both great games. They are both phenomenal and amazing. Breath of the Wild, launch title of the Switch, first true open world Zelda game. You see the top of Hyrule Castle, you can go to the top of Hyrule Castle. As long as it's within the map's boundaries and is climbable surface, you can go to it, basically. Introduce paraglider to move to places, new weapon system, two-handed weapons, spears that only stab. Why can't we slash with spears? That's just an issue, personal issue of mine with spears in those games. But you also have clubs as well too, more weapons for bludgeoning. Abilities, the remote bombs, infinite bombs that do less damage, but infinite bombs. You can use them for puzzles. Like, all the abilities can be used good for both combat and puzzles. You can stop time on an enemy or an object to launch them or get an amount of hits. You can take their metallic objects or use a giant metallic object to hit them or build a bridge, or conduct electricity, Karanas to hold things in place, or to make a bridge across water. Like, it just has a lot of, it's very unique abilities, and I love it. And Tears of the Kingdom also has very unique abilities. You got Ultra Hand to build things. You can build things. You can build a TIE fighter if you want. If you so desire, you can make a TIE fighter. You got Fuse to attach things to your weapons. You got Ascend to, well, ascend. And you got Recall to send things back in time, whether it be an object thrown by an enemy or something with a puzzle or something to get you somewhere even. Tears of the Kingdom has 3 maps instead of 1 map. You got the sky, standard Hyrule Kingdom, and the depths. I feel like, myself, Tears of the Kingdom provides more gameplay and pushes the engine of Breath of the Wild to its limits more by being able to, well, build things and have them move around. They're both phenomenal games, but personally, I like Tears of the Kingdom's music better, I like its story better, and I enjoy its gameplay a bit more than Breath of the Wild. But Breath of the Wild is still an amazing game. Don't get me wrong. Both games I truly enjoy and love, but personally, I feel like I like Tears of the Kingdom better because from a gameplay perspective, I feel like it can provide more and it can have replayability with fusing things to your weapons. Thank you.
Now personally, I'm not the biggest Legend of Zelda fan. I've actually gone on record by saying Zelda's not even the top 3 of Nintendo anymore. And whether you believe that or not, which I guess I'm completely wrong, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are 2 amazing games within the Zelda franchise. Breath of the Wild has given me a lot of great memories just from that game alone. I've only beaten 3 games of the Legend of Zelda series, where that'd be Wind Waker, the original Legend of Zelda, and Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild just holds a special place in my heart because of that reason. Now, one of my biggest favorite memories behind that is actually, funny enough, the memories. Being able to go around and collect Link's memories of trying to pick little pieces together and see why the story unfolded the way it was is amazing to me. I love the adventure aspect of it. It gives you the freedom to stray away from the actual path you want to go on. And there's just so many little memories that you adore, especially ones with like Mipha, the ones with Zelda. Some of my favorite memories are the ones with Mipha because I had a crush on her, okay? I had a huge crush on her. But it felt like you were getting a secret part of the story that if you just go straight to the boss and fight Ganon, you would never ever learn about. And you just finish your journey just kind of wondering, well, why did it actually appear this way? Or what were the special moments? Why do we have such connections with all these heroes along the way? Now, I know a lot of people don't enjoy the fact that there weren't dungeons within Breath of the Wild, but personally, I was okay with that. I believe there's a bunch of achievements that you could go and get yourself by going to get the Korok seeds and figuring where those are at, by fighting little enemies and trying to figure out how to be better against the Lionels and stuff like that. There's little side quests here and there that you can go on, and it just feels like there's so much more to do. Now, a person who hasn't played Tears of the Kingdom, I've watched a lot of streamers and content creators play that game, and I can already see they just upgraded the game. There's kind of, I wouldn't say no reason to go back to Breath of the Wild, but it kind of, Tears of the Kingdom just does its own story in its own way, and it's kind of just better outright than Breath of the Wild. Now, that being said, there are definitely a lot of reasons why you may prefer Breath of the Wild, just maybe nostalgia or maybe the combat system. Now, personally for me, Breath of the Wild just holds a special place in my heart, and I hope that you are ready for whatever the 3rd game they may add into the series. And if they don't add anything in the series, this is a fine duo, a fine little thing they have here. Sometimes things are better in 2 than 3.
That's it. What do you think? What is your preferred game? I would love to find out in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The other moves, I don't think you're worth it. Here. Like, peace out. I'm done with Snorlax brand. We're riding this Blastoise. We live and die with this Blastoise. Live or die with this Blastoise. That's what I meant. Flamethrower. It had mirror coats? Are you kidding me, bro?